Field, shield, healed. Neurochemical balance. Everything is mind. 0 point of creation. Tolerance. Magician. The deadlift. The neurochemical balance in my brain. The black pupil. Self-belief systems. A live sine wave. A singing wave. Routine. So it might look bizarre or strange if you would walk past by me and I'm just talking to myself or I'm talking to the mirror. But like all our faces get basically sucked into this device. And this is why I just let it run and I just speak my truth out. And this is what the magic spells basically are. But not many beings have been to the point where they like, hey, you know, you could create out of the language. And this is why it's so interesting to see how this works for most people. And that's sweet, you know, because you see like most children under the age of 5, they feel it and they see it, they sense it. Because there is this magical aspect in all of us. But we have forgotten that because our mind is literally dictated by a program which is not us. And in order to decode all the shit that you've learned, that takes a long time. And I could bring you to that point. But this video here is more about organizing the realm, organizing the room, zoom into the truthful, compassionate, and tolerant realm, which it should be, in order to help humanoids to live in peace, in pieces, in puzzle pieces. And this is why, like, I puzzle all your broken pictures together again. So I puzzle myself basically together. I balance myself, my own mind, my brain out. Because I know I see myself in the reflection of the mirror, which is not this, but this that I look into. I see myself in it. So to decode your brain to the point where you're like, I'm here. And from here on, I create my own imaginational process, which is right here, right now, occurring and happening. And now I open up my mouth, so it becomes. So I organize my own field, my own point of creation that I carry like throughout millennia and miles. My field is probably like, I don't know how big my field is, and that's not the point here, but it's the thing is that we organize this whole thing together. So I better balance my own brain out, I better balance my own mind neurochemically in order to align all the things in me. And if I align all the things in me, so it is outside happening and occurring. Because as within, so without. As above, so below. Everything is mind, everything is frequency based. So I've done pretty bizarre things for which most people would be like, hey, you know what, you're mentally ill, probably. That's what most people would say. but I knew that it was something that I had to break through in order to get to the stage where I'm completely free out of any dictation program, so I can put all the spells together by myself, so they cure like that. And I had to become more aware of my own powers. I had to become more aware of the balancing act in order to, which I always wanted to do, you know. I always see this why I like take it. I don't know. You like take both pills from the Matrix. I'm like, no, you just eat some of them, crack it through. So if I live in a humble, tolerant palace, which is myself, if I organize my own field, my shield that I carry with me, because this is an illusion to play with anyways, your eyes are fooling you. So I do the work for a lot of beings because I'm guiding this mastermind into the next area. And that's what we all do. We all like game players and adjusting the rules, adjusting the things, how we measure mind, how we measure things, how we organize things. So that's why I'm the black hole which emits everything. So where I put my energy into, this is what it will become. So I have to be very wise and humble with my intentions and with my brain, because language is just a more densified version of thought. So, because how could I ever say, oh, right, I'm right here, right now, right? Where are you? Like, the question is, how is my field resonating? And if I'm in a balanced palace, if my brain is neurochemically balanced, then I feel life in every aspect, but I also give room, realm, dream for everyone who wants and is in my field. Because if I would be like, no, I don't tolerate that, I don't see that as a tool that I could play with in this illusion, in this Maya, then I would be in a separation mode, which I also have to be in somehow, because otherwise I would not be able to survive here. If I would be like, okay, I don't make any decisions, I have to make some decisions. But if like the way I decide for something is what would be the most truthful, compassionate, and tolerant thing to create out of myself. What would be the most humble, the wisest thing, the most balanced thing. And the most balanced thing has something to do with tolerance, seeing everything as a tool. I don't have to do it, but I do it anyways because I know it's part of life. Now, there are of course some things which I would not do, but I would give room for other beings to experience that. See, and this is what basically is the most important key factor here, to tolerate everyone in the game settings and to tolerate everyone in the realm, the Zoom. Well, it sounds like, oh Jan, you've lost your mind. You're talking about you're dictating everyone how to live. No, that's not the point here. You know, like I'm just aware of my field. I'm just aware of my field shield, what I send out, my emitting process. I'm very sensitive to things because I'm grounded, and it has something to do with, walking barefoot, barefoot shoes, and feeling your surroundings. And then you become aware of what you basically are, and what your aura is, your auric field, and how you organize it. What is it that you carry around in yourself? That's what you send out. So that's why I say field shield healed. I healed my own shield because I rebalance my things out, and I'm able to, because I know that time is not really existing. Time is a construct which is man-made, which has to be there in order to organize things in this realm. I get it. But I'm not dictated by time. I use it as a tool, but I don't need it. Because I have this perception and perspective that I exist out of time, I use it as a tool. I can work with it to the degree that I know I send it out. And that's why I'm not dictated onto, for example, the 3 meals a day thing. But from my point of perception and from my point of view, sometimes I really have to integrate more. Integration. Grounding. And this has something to do with adapting, and the adepts in alchemy, adapting to my surroundings, synchronizing with my environment, synchronizing with my workplace, synchronizing with my partnership, synchronizing with my friends, synchronizing with my parents, synchronizing with my family, synchronizing with the aspects of life and this reality in this realm that I would like to make more beautiful, make more happy. Because I know that life is a sine wave, and every feeling and every emotion is part of it. But since I've been, and let me tell you that from all honesty, I've been to the darkest places of myself. I was falling so deep in myself, and I was going there consciously. And I think not many beings would even be able to do that in these normal circumstances. But then you know what? I figured out that this has effects on the whole thing. It has effects on everything. And this is carried out as within, so without. This is carried out into so many different layers. So I'm I stay humble with myself, but being up in the crown chakra all the time, that's not an intelligent solution. Being grounded and being in the death places all the time is not also very wise. I've done it, and then I can work with it. So for me, right here, right now, left here, left now, whole here, whole now, whole of amunti, amenti. Which is always occurring, I look always in my own windows, in my windows of my soul. Where you think you go, what you think you're doing. If I know I'm anchored in my own navel, I know I don't move. I just open up new windows of my soul, of myself. And I know that all these spirit angels, spirit guardians, which are other humans, other faces, because we are all God, but most beings just haven't realized that. Most beings' brains are not developed to that perception. It's not that interwebbed yet. So this is why I use this also as part of event, but since I've become more aware of my own powers, I start to be very humble with what and how I speak. And of course, like I said, these bad emotions have also their role in life, but like I try to be more, not on this love and light thing. That's not the thing, but on this truthful path, where I'm like, yo, this is how it is, and not to scream into the camera and be like, oh, listen to me, this is the book. No, that's not the thing. You can be here and you cannot be here. That's on you, but I just do my thing. And I know that this path of self-realization, of getting into yourself, could be sometimes very much a lone path, and that's what it is sometimes, But it's also like, like I said, I have to ground myself somehow also, and just take what's offered to me, because I still live in this society, I still live here. So, and it seems like my soul has made these decisions before I got here. So it's all good. Yeah, it's all good. So the deadlift, lifting the dad, and neurochemical balance brain, black pupil, self-belief systems, life sign wave routine, run, room, zoom, dream creation, tolerate, life, synchronized life, mind programs created out of me, the black hole. I could be completely wrong with all of it that I'm speaking here. And it just could be a complete illusion to myself that I was falling into to such a big extent that I was maybe just doing this because I saw so much suffering, and I see so much suffering, and I would like to give and empower and help, because I think in my brain that these things that I have would be helpful to so many beings, which they would be, which they are. But I also stay humble with it and not like push and force something onto it. But the truth will always be the truth, Like, okay, then could argue about what is truth. Is it true what I say here? Is it working for you? Maybe not. Like, maybe I'm just a complete goof. And I should not take myself so seriously, and I just should not do these things. But at least I'm rethinking, and I'm mirroring, and I'm reflecting myself, and I'm just reflecting what occurs. And I think because, like I said, probably I've broken so much into myself, and I've broken through so many different barriers already in this Maya tricks, that it's very anchored what I say. But I keep my neurochemical balance with it. And you know what's great? I was doing deadlifts before work, and not to that degree where I would like, it's this numbers and this way and whatever. No, because I figured out it's about the move mind. Everything is mind. Everything is happening and occurring in my brain. or in my field, in my shield, and I walk around in my own field of consciousness. So if I balance out my neurochemical release in my brain via these exercises, which I know what I do, like I build up my temple from the solidest forms, and that's why I do my morning adapting routine, which consists of Falun Dagang, Fondava, Paida, foam rolling, Kalaripaya, weight, wood, stone lifting, which is a cool thing. Because if you would look into this grid here, you would see that all these different forms and man-made structures are occurring in nature. You would have, for example, the cubes which we live in, which represent the solid form of Earth. But you could just like take a wooden piece, or you could take a stone, which you are able to lift if you've mastered your nervous system, if you've mastered your capacity to put your hands into the realm and construct. And then you can build up your own temple because you mastered the movement. And because I've mastered the movement, I don't take care so much about like, oh, is it that numbers? Is it that sets? No, first of all, always consider the technique, always consider the movement. So you could do this until you die. Although I was already the black furrow dad walking here. But the technique is the most important thing, because this is what you will remember in your body, in your avatar. Like your muscles come and go, but the technique is always what's the solid formation, and everything else builds around it. So that's why I like stone and wood lifting, and it balances my brain out. So if I'm able to, and it's not also about emptying out myself, but it's about getting ready for the day. I can do these movement patterns in order to function better in everyday life. Form and function. And it's not about, I function like a robot, huh? No, I have a very reflective brain, and I see myself in my beautiful creational aspects, which I present myself, which I surround myself with. And this is why I do this, in order to balance my brain out in all aspects, because the grid net is very big. But it always comes from here. It always comes with a lot of compassion, with hard energy, with hard imagination, with hard, let's be hard. But see, we are it sounds like, if I would say that one more time, it sounds so bizarre to most culturists or beings in this society. Because if I would say we're all one in the same thing. This is a giant thing which is experiencing itself. And in this next realm where I wake up, I do this also to level myself up, obviously, to not stay in this life and death reincarnation process. Because, maybe I have to come here back in order to adjust and do some things again. I already said, attachment goes in any direction. Attached mind, I have to... And this is when I was going so deep into myself with fasting, Shivamukapa, the Silk Waters, that I was like, okay, I deconstructed myself. I deconstructed and deprogrammed myself to the point that I know Now it's about what kind of software do I install in my head in order to function here. See, and this goes on and on and on and on and on. Because like life is an everlasting flow, an everlasting experience of consciousness. So that's what it is. And this is why I say God wears a lot of different masks in this masquerade games. And my mirror is already shattered. I see through this, and I speak from source. But then I see different aspects of myself, which, like, maybe they would like to help me and be like, you are me, but maybe it's just more helpful to be like, okay, no, they're not part of me. They're not, just in order to help me to move on better. Although I know I am literally the same thing, experiencing just myself just through a different outlook. Yeah, barefoot running, and of course, like, with integration, like adapting to society has something to do with getting into these things that humans do in this life, in how we culturize. Like, okay, we take showers every day. Let's do it. And that's why I take also, like, I take my medicine, my supplements, in order to, like, recalibrate my brain and to balance myself out, because I don't want to use rude language, because that's not, like, helping anybody. It's not helping me. It's not like I was doing that. It was part of me. It was, but it's actually, I mean, it is part of me. I accept it. I tolerate it. But I felt like it's not beneficial really to anybody if I would be like, I scream into the freaking face on camera and be like, you are all blah blah blah. Why should I do that? So kinetic yoga, showers, the soul, dark windows, apples, mirror consciousness stream. I'm the black soul, the black sun, looking out of himself, mirroring himself in his environment. This is what you will get into when you sun gaze for a long time, because then you start to mirror the sun in you, that you start to realize, oh, it's me that's looking out, who was always looking out. It was always myself. And you just start to see all of this way better, although nothing really changes than your own perception and perspective. And like I said, your mind state and your positions. But you start to see the personas and the humans, the beautiful beings that you see in front of you, as sounds, as resonators of yourself, who are trying to help and empower you. And that's basically what this is. We are all, like, okay, let's say we are all one, but we also experience ourselves in different sections, in different cells. For example, the people you have in your workplace, the people you would have in your family, your friends, these are all you. But certainly, of course, not, right? So certainly it's me. So the question is, where would I like to go? I mean, yeah. Keep spinning around myself, yeah, with this knowledge. Sound resonator, torus field, balanced brain, balanced body, balanced field, balanced neurochemistry. This is why I say I do my endorphin shots, my cortisol shots, my adrenaline shots, my serotonin shots, my dopamine shots. with these exercises in my brain to have my experience, to have my illusion in a more flowing aspect, in a more flowing capacity. And I enjoy it. I mean, sometimes it's so bizarre to me because I was screaming into the black mirror, and I was like, yeah, you do this, you do that. I was like, hey, it's myself. Certainly I would like to like give being something with it, but I know that I also have this John shamanic mirror, which is a section of me which I should not overdo, certainly, but it's also, like I said, a ventil for myself, and a room and a realm for my consciousness to where I could express myself, because I could just, and I'm not interrupted, and I'm not I'm not having a relationship directly with somebody, although these beautiful beings are all in my head. So I could have this section here to just keep me more balanced, and to yeah. Because what I said, where do you think you go? But sometimes, I mean, like I said, it's a flow, it's a consciousness, it's a flux. So I live in myself, you know. If you really open up your eyes on your body, you start to see that you basically never sleep, but you're sleeping all the time, and you're always awake, but you're not really awake. So it's a flow, it's a flux. So because if you go to bed, you wake up in another stage, obviously. The question is, can you like transfer these things from dreams to the realms, and then can you integrate these things? And that, of course, takes time. You know, it's like, that's why I have this Jan shamanic mirror, and sometimes it's very like. This is why I was also putting these things down where I was drinking urine on, because it's bizarre to the beings who not know, and this is not then empowering or helping. So this is why I just talk about it, and I know what I talk about because I'm talking from my heart. I'm talking from my source. I have to wear certain masks or shields in front of me to have my experience, because otherwise I would be like, you know what, this is all empty, I leave here. And I was there. I know that basically everything is empty. I know that, and I've been like to this place many times, but certainly right here, right now, I don't want to be there. And that's why I manifest myself with the Hermetic laws on the place where I would like to be, on a happy, humble, truthful, compassionate, and tolerant place in myself that I resonate out, because this is what I am. And I've been on a deeper layer than, I would say, even Falun Gong, Falun Dafa. I was on a deeper level than that, which is called Source. And this place is, not many beings would even survive there. You would not, because, and this is not to show off, but this is, you have to be very structured and strong to see that, and to have the capacity to go there, and the routine and the discipline, and you have to know the ways, and you have to also know how to integrate and come back. Because this is like, and this is not like, oh, I do 5 grams of mushrooms and then I come back. But this is like, you go deep in yourself, that you start to break through all the mind programs that you've installed in yourself. And this includes that you see your parents as a creation of yourself. you see your friends as a creation of yourself. You see everything as a direct reflection of you. And then you can start to work with it. And see, this is why also, like, I hide my urine. I hide my shimomu. Because, which everybody does. Everybody hides, basically, their subconscious. And I'm just speaking about the subconscious, which is why my mirrors may be kind of bizarre for most beings. Because I talk about things which are there, and this is why it sounds so mystical. Funny enough, I don't even like horror movies. I don't like to watch that. I would watch it, but it scares literally the shit out of me. But see, otherwise, the funny thing is, on the other hand, I go so deep in myself. And I find that there is nothing, that there is no thing. That's why my pupil is black. It's freaking black. See? See, like, oh, Jan, you have red eyes, you've smoked something? No. I'm just accepting life. And that's why sometimes it hurts my eyes to see it. And I just take all which is presented to me. Although many beings, especially the loved ones around me, of course they would like to help me and have myself a joyful experience. And sometimes just my mind is not ready to accept and tolerate it. And that goes in any direction, you know. Attachment goes in any direction. Certainly I have to use attachment to work here and to live here. Empty mind, then install the software. Fallen Dafa program, balance program. Balanced brain, balanced body, balanced field, balanced neurochemistry. That's what I say. And that's why I'm like, the best thing to help and to give you your power and to empower you is to just give you an open ear. I give you an open ear here to be you. And of course, I know that it is about how I resonate, because how I resonate, that's what I see. And because I know about these teachings and I consciously use them in everyday life, I practical live them out. This is what I see, and this is how basically everyone constructs this area. And this is, of course, also the reason why you pray before you eat, because you organize the structures in the food, which is not only about water. It's like, oh yeah, water fasting, shivamu, blah blah, yeah, and then you will probably get, I mean, it was just my experience, that you start to completely dissolve yourself into the spirit realm, and you're like, this is all pointless. See, and that's why I say it's a balance. And speaking from, I've been to that place, but I come back, and then I integrate that knowledge to the degree that I can do the best for everyone that I love. And it seems to be that it is just, hey, you know, not overdo things, you know, stay in the, like, what is the balance about? The balance is about doing things and not doing things. And sometimes I had to do things in an extreme fashion to figure out how they work. But then, you know, it's like, hey, it's good, you know. It's good to do a bit, you know. And not to completely get crazy with it or something. See, and now I'm 39 minutes in this talk, And I'm like, okay, see, the funny thing is, this is therapeutical to me. And it's also full of wisdom nuggets. It's full of life. Upload mist into the camera. Mystical. This is what I would say true spirituality is. Although, like, everything is spiritual. If you've been to yourself, if you've been in yourself, where fasting and distilled waters and Shivambukalpa and a lot of other things, I mean, that was at least my path. That doesn't have to be yours. But I would say it's a very powerful way to go there. But certainly you will find out what's working for you. And this is why I say the program of tolerance, which I use the word installing things in this lifetime here on my bioenergetic supercomputer consciously to just help you. I mean, extremes never really make it to the finish line. Stay in the upper third, my father used to tell me. The upper third, stay in the upper third and then in the balance. That's good, you know? Or in the lower third. I mean, manifest wherever you would like to be, but I mean, I like to be on the conscious thing, you know, on the mindful, and sometimes mindless, you know. I like to manifest myself on the sine wave, wherever I am, but I speak with truthfulness, compassion, and tolerance, and a bit more humble, you know, not screaming or shouting into the camera, not using rude language. That doesn't have, it's, I've done that. It was worth the experience, but it's not like, that's not me, you know. So stay true, Jan, stay true to yourself, and keep inspiring the world, and be more happy, you know, love more, and love, and live in the balance, neurochemical brain. I love you.